Dear Dreamer, I'm writing this letter with a full heart and so much admiration for you. You might not think of yourself as extraordinary right now, surrounded by the struggles of today, but let me tell you a little secret. Some of the greatest people this world has known started right where you are, facing hardship but carrying a dream. Your story is not over, dear one. It's just beginning. And I want to share a few lessons with you, gathered from years of living, loving, struggling, and eventually thriving. My husband, Tom, and I didn't grow up wealthy, far from it, but we had dreams, and step by step, we found ways to make them come true. So let's talk about how you can hold on to your dreams and turn them into reality, no matter where you are right now. Lesson 1. Dreams are the seeds of change. When Tom and I were young, we didn't have much. Tom worked in a sawmill and I cleaned houses. Some days it felt like we were running in circles, working so hard just to make ends meet. But we always carried a dream in our hearts. We wanted a little house of our own and a life where we didn't have to worry about every penny. Dreams are like seeds, my dear. They don't grow overnight, but they have the potential to bloom into something beautiful if you tend to them. So here's my first piece of advice. Hold on to your dream, no matter how far away it feels. Write it down, say it out loud, picture it in your mind. The first step to changing your life is believing that change is possible. Lesson 2. Your circumstances don't define you. I know what poverty feels like. It can make you feel small, invisible, and stuck. But let me tell you something. Your current circumstances do not define who you are or what you're capable of. Tom and I lived in a tiny one-bedroom apartment when we first got married. We had one beat-up car that broke down more times than I can count. But those days didn't stop us from dreaming. Instead, they fueled our determination to do better. You are not your bank account. You are not the worn-out shoes you're wearing or the bills piling up on the table. You are a dreamer, a doer, and someone who has the power to change their story. Lesson 3. Start with what you have. I'll never forget the day Tom and I decided to start saving for our dream house. We didn't have much to spare, but we started small. Every time we had a little extra, whether it was $5 or $10, we put it into a jar labeled Dream Fund. It didn't seem like much at first, but over time that jar started to fill up. And do you know what? Watching those savings grow gave us hope. It reminded us that small actions, done consistently, can lead to big results. So start with what you have, dear one. Maybe it's a talent you can share, a skill you can develop, or just a little time each week to work on your dream. Small steps are still steps forward. Lesson 4. Learn and grow every day. Education isn't just something that happens in school. It's a lifelong journey. When Tom and I wanted to start our own little business, we didn't know the first thing about running one. So we went to the library, borrowed books, and learned everything we could. Today you have even more resources at your fingertips. There are free courses, online tutorials, and mentors who can guide you. Invest time in learning, even if it's just 15 minutes a day. Knowledge is power, and it can open doors you never thought possible. Lesson 5. Build a support system. When you're struggling, it's easy to feel like you're alone. But let me tell you something important. You don't have to do this on your own. Tom and I had each other, and that made all the difference. We also leaned on family, friends, and even kind neighbors who believed in us. Don't be afraid to reach out for help, whether it's advice, encouragement, or just a listening ear. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, believe in your dreams, and remind you of your worth. Lesson 6. Money is a tool, not a goal. It's easy to think that wealth is the answer to all your problems, but let me tell you something Tom and I learned along the way. Money is just a tool. It's not the goal. It's what you do with it that matters. Our dream wasn't just to have money. It was to create a life where we felt secure, joyful, and free. When we started to earn more, we used it wisely. We paid off debts. We invested in our future. We gave back to our community. Use money as a tool to build the life you want, not as something to chase endlessly. Lesson 7. Gratitude lights the way. Even in the hardest times, there is always something to be grateful for. Tom and I used to sit at the kitchen table, counting our blessings instead of our coins. We were grateful for each other, for our health, and for the hope that kept us going. Gratitude doesn't erase your struggles, but it does give you strength. It reminds you of what you have, even as you work toward what you want. Every night, write down 3 things you're grateful for. It's a small habit that can make a big difference in your mindset. A story of hope. Let me share a story with you. There was a young woman named Clara who lived in our neighborhood. She grew up in poverty just like you. But Clara had a dream. She wanted to open a bakery. She didn't have money for a fancy storefront, so she started small. She baked cookies in her tiny kitchen and sold them at local markets. First it was tough. Some days she barely made enough to cover her costs. But Clara didn't give up. She kept improving her recipes, learning about business, and saving every penny she could. Today, Clara owns one of the most popular bakeries in town. People come from miles around to taste her treats. And do you know what she says? It all started with a dream and a batch of cookies. Final thoughts. Your dream is worth it. Dear dreamer, I know the road ahead isn't easy. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when the weight of your struggles feels too heavy to bear. But I want you to remember this. You are stronger than you know, and your dream is worth fighting for. Take it one day at a time. Celebrate every small victory. Learn from your mistakes. And never, ever lose sight of the incredible potential within you. Tom and I believe in you just as we believed in ourselves all those years ago. We may not have started with much, but we ended up with a life full of love, purpose, and yes, a little bit of wealth. And if we can do it, so can you. With all my love and faith in your journey, Grandma Suzie. P.S. Grandpa Tom says, tell them to dream big, work hard, and always keep a little something in their pocket for a rainy day. Thank you, my dears, for spending this time with me. Remember, life's journey is better when we walk it together. If these stories and reflections warmed your heart, be sure to subscribe and join me for more wisdom, comfort, and a little sprinkle of joy. Together, let's keep growing one story at a time. Until next time, stay safe, stay hopeful, and remember, you're never alone. Grandma loves you.